it's probably going to pay off. Because, yeah, let's say you give Luna a good game and then she starts jungling, as per usual. She can't... I don't know if they can buy enough time for her to reach the point where she wins the game. But the other way around, if Bat and Storm have good games, they can find kills, and that can buy time for Luna to come back. So I think that's what they should probably be looking at, if possible. Let's see how
I know this is difficult to do because there's one team that we both favor, but whose lineup and lineup alone do you like
Prepare for battle.
If these two, like just in the lineup in isolation, or the lineups versing each other with no team names on them?
Yes, no team names.
I think I like the Dire lineup more. Under the assumption that both teams are equally good, which is what they are if you don't have names, right? Yes. Then I think the Dire lineup will win more than 50% of the time at this skill bracket in a competitive game. So, but let's see. Obviously, the fact that it's secret versus bait skews it way more in that favor.
Yes, I would say so. It becomes 51% then, right?
Exactly.
Now, the opposing outposts are both being captured for each respective team. See what the final lanes end up being as we are approaching the sub 30-second mark. So it is Nisha playing the Visage. Do you like Visage or Visage, or do you switch it up to keep
I always say Visage. Always.
Always.
Visage sounds French, which is how you say it in French.
Yeah.
And English does to all the French words that they take in is that they bastardize all of them and say them in an English way. So why should this be any different?
Like coup de grace, coup de grace.
Coup de grace. Coup de grace.
The battle.
I can't say ra. That's a hard one. Grace.
Coup de grace.
Coup de grace. Grace. Loy. Loy. Loy.
Could you hear my dog?
No.
Oh, you just said it right after he barked. I was like, wow.
Really?
That was insane timing.
I have dog hearing, syndereN. It's really good. Apsor in the bottom lane is actually blocking these creeps, as Witch Doctor for bait will be trying to do the same. He's going to take a little bit of damage as a result, though. Matu with the Curse of Avernus already leveled, and he's going to do heavy damage as a result of this. God damn, that's pretty nice. It is a tri-lane for now for Secret. Obviously, Enchantress will be in and out, but it's going to be Yapsor Clockwork with Matu's Abaddon.
Abaddon.
No. Don't you say it. Don't you say it.
So, basically what the outcome of this should be is that Bait get their 2 cores that I think they should give a really good game to start. They don't have to stay with them forever, just make sure that they get enabled. Both of those have a good start. Storm against Visage is a good lane for Storm in the beginning, and Bat versus Pango with even a Shaker helping out should be extremely easy for last hero. I honestly think 5-up can even move right now. Either try to kill mid, or go and assist bottom if they feel like there's any purpose in that. But for now he is sticking around top. Maybe they'll try a kill here with Firefly, but Zai made sure to get rid of the stacks. And he's finding his level 2 now, which is also going to help him have a secondary way of dealing with that through the slow. But they're going to try here.
Yeah, they're going to try 4 stacks of sticky napalm. There, Fissure incoming. Bill, I don't even know if he needs it. Swashbuckle into the other side of the trees. Okay.
Goodness. Right,
they still see him. Can they continue to chase? Pops the mango. That's 7 charges now. Puppey continues his rampage on couriers. But the first blood goes to last hero on the Bat Rider.
Yeah. Now he's level 3 and Pango is level 2.5. Pango will get a stick though and return to top or a full wand. Bottom lane, Yapsor. Okay, no battery assault or they would have gone there.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Puppey will not get as many courier kills as yesterday, playing the Enchantress instead of the Weaver. I actually forgot to look up the stat, if that even exists, of how many he killed. I'd be interested to know what the record is, because that has to be close. I'd be shocked.
Oh, Luna's in trouble bottom. He's in big trouble.
Coming to help him out. You have a Chrysalis. Only level 1 right now. And he's going to TP back to the tier 1, I assume. Will be successful. I mean, the Witch Doctor...
If he dies there after TPing, that is terrible.
Yeah.
So, at the very least he got out. But he's getting bullied, right? It's not a surprise that Luna is losing this lane really hard. Don't know if Shaker, once again, if he's outstaying his
lane, by the way.
Necessities.
You already used the Swashbuckle. Matu actually TPs here. Gets the Aphotic Shield. They're going to try to turn this around to the Bat Rider, and they do successfully.
That's a really good play call.
Position 1 Abaddon.
Radiant's courier.
That's a super good play call. Because what happens now is, let's say Bat. Now Bat respawns. He has two choices. He can go top, in which case he's laning against a Baton who doesn't care, so he's just gonna farm. Or he can TP bottom, but then Luna can't TP since she just TP'd away from the kill attempt bot.
That's true.
So it's like, this is really, really smart from Secret right now. It's like, there's no good play right now for Bat. He needs to run bottom instead of TPing, so he has the TP option later, and that means he's not getting anything for like 30 seconds. And in the meantime, everyone on Secret is getting stuff out of their lanes, so this is really, really good stuff.
So does that mean Luna will switch lanes as well to the top once the TP's back up?
Yeah, but it's dangerous, right? Then she's playing in the off lane against an overleveled Abaddon who can get help from any of the supports, and then she has nowhere to run.
Kill mid lane. Yep. Dendi getting the gank here from his old teammate Puppey with that mud golem. It's actually about to expire, but when it expires, two little babies come out and they destroy you. That's exactly what happens here. So looking at the mid lane, 21-6 CS versus the Visage 11-6. So Dendi's actually winning this lane pretty handily, as you kind of were expecting. But the gank will certainly help.
Yeah, and they even TP'd in Witch Doctors to try to help, and he failed. So this leaves other lanes more susceptible now. They know Fishman can't rotate for a minute. Looking at Puppey here.
Ooh, top lane, Swashbuckle with the Aphotic Shield applied. They don't want to do too much damage because it might kill Chrysalis, and it does. With that fissure, dooms his teammate, and he looks to be next on the list. Is here. Zai taking extremely heavy damage, but it's not going to matter. Does finally go down, but it's a 2-for-1. Matu. Okay, he dies under the tower with the Maledict applied as well.
Interesting.
It is 2 levels, a nice Fairy Fire keeping Fishman alive. But Dendi comes in and it looks like Puppey... Actually, Storm is not level 6 yet, so...
He's not playing Vortex, so yeah, they can't get him.
Puppey's fine, very fast hero. Looks like Clockwork takes this spell. They won't be able to chase the Enchantress any further, it looks like.
Last hero might need help here. Zai has... Oh, he doesn't have boots. Okay. Because he has the Orb of Venom, so if he had boots as well, he would just keep running at Bat, but like this? Oh, well, who needs help from who? Yeah,
he might be able to turn this around now. That's 5 stacks. Swashbuckle is coming back. It is up to... Only level 2 right now, though. So... Get away to safety. But such a... For a hero, even though he has an escape mechanism, such a hard hero to go against the Bat Rider. Seeking Napalm just come... But... There is support in the way of the position 1 Abaddon again on the way. Matu looking for this potential kill. Last year's Ordic Firefly. Swashbuckle will connect. Aphotic Shield applied to Zai. Looks like he's going to go all in for this. Looks like they'll find it. Will he burn? Nope. He shall survive again. Getting out with little HP. And they get the Bat Rider.
And in the meantime, pressure is mounting in the mid lane. Puppey and Nisha. Dendi needs 1 CS for level 6. There's no creeps dying. Oh no.
The familiar did die, but it wasn't experience, I don't think. And Storm.
Oh my god. Oh,
why?
He gets 6S. He gets the cog for the kill.
That is really unfortunate. Now Fishman might be next on the list here, and indeed he is. So a 2-for-0 is Yapzor. Lives on another hero for Secret, just living with a sliver of HP, syndereN.
Yeah.
And Matu
even has Tranks. He even has Tranks and Clocks, so he can stick around. He doesn't need to go base and full reset. I think, in my mind, this is probably the single best position for in the game to get this item on, almost always, as your first item. Tranquil and Clock and any mana item is just so good. You just keep putting that pressure. Matu will get killed here.
Goodness!
Went too deep and he rotated a lot of heroes. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. If he was level... No, even if he was level 6, I don't think so. But Luna in the top lane, my goodness, kills all over the place. Fishman does have his cask. And the Maledict is applied.
Oh, he got 6 in the wave.
And let's see if he tries to TP. It doesn't have a TP on him right now, but the Maledict looks like it's going to run out just in time. He's very little HP. He just goes down to the right cliff. Visage also died in the bottom river, syndereN.
Okay. Sorry, I'm still recovering from this icon. That was great. He had every opportunity to just roll away, but he thought maybe he'd get 1 more bounce on Fishman and then kill him with Swashbuckle.
Yep.
And got a clip on the front page of Reddit, but not the case.
Yeah. Well, right now, Dendi is top of the net worth in terms of
Radiant's courier has been killed.
his overall farm right now. Is Puppey again with a courier kill?
He did give away a ward there, though. Last year I immediately pinged it. There's no way he attacks that from that angle without having lane vision. So he traded a courier for a ward. It's not really that good. It's like alright, I would say.
Missing middle.
Yeah.
It's not that good, syndereN. Not worth.
It's like somewhat even. Like, it's really hard to say, right?
5-up was taking a little bit of harassment damage in the mid lane. He's trying to give high five to Nisha, which he is not reciprocating right now. Very rude. Got to talk to Cyborg Matt about the manners of his players here. They have better sportsmanship. Top lane. Zai was getting pressured a little bit, but has all his spells basically available at his disposal right now. How fast does Bait want to play in terms of pushing towers? You're against Secret, which I assume will end up 5-manning here at some point. Nisha's actually going for the tier 1 tower in mid lane. Dendi jumps in. Still doesn't have the electric vortex. And the familiars will not be able to finish up tier 1, and it will be denied as a result. Top lane, Yapsor takes a spill. It ends up being a 1-for-1.
No proc.
The Clockwork and Batrider. Chris.
He doesn't have TP on Luna. He started pushing this top tower together with just a Batrider and didn't have TP. That was so easy for Zai.
Quite fast.
They have Fissure.
Flash is there, but here's the cask
nice
into
bait.
the Fissure, into the death. So Zai biting off a little bit too much there.
And Bait might be able to get an outpost here. Or protect it, rather. Puppey.
Yep, Puppey is going to have to cancel. And he's going to be chased, at least to a degree. They're going to turn this around, though. And, well, Witch Doctor takes a tumble as a result. But it's a 1-for-1 in terms of the outposts themselves. So, even Steven.
Stupendous.
Matu right now has the phase boots. I was mentioning the game they played yesterday. He went Helm into Radiance. Do you expect something similar, or just go straight Radiance, maybe? Or neither?
Yeah, there's even a possibility of just going some sort of aura style here with Vlad's first item, because you have Visage going Helm in the mid lane, so I don't think you want 2 of those.
Yeah.
Vlad's Radiance is fine. Vlad's Pipe is a possibility. It's a bit more all-in-ish, and they might not want to do that. They might want to scale better. Puppey top
lane. Yeah, we're going to see the roll from Zai. Puppey already has Maledict applied to him, and he just melts under the pressure. Fishman looks like he's going to be the trade inside the cogs right now. Zai kind of stuck in a weird spot. Gets a swashbuckle off on Dendi. I think that's going to break things up most likely. And Matu is finally not TPing to help his team. He is actually farming as the position 1. And based on the fact that he's bought literally nothing, he hasn't queued anything up, so maybe hasn't really decided. Perhaps if you get up to a certain point, you're like, okay, maybe I just go Radiance at this stage.
Yeah, it's possible. I think Radiance is fine. The timing with Visage, I think, gets a little bit different when you go Radiance, compared to if you went Vlad's plus another, say, medium cost item. Like, even Vlad's Solar Crest could actually also be really nice here, I think. There's like standard offlane Abaddon items on your carry Abaddon, and then the Pango. Okay, so Pango's getting Vlad's, so that means Matu's definitely not doing that. Rush Solar? Don't know if he likes it. Maybe they want the Solar and Visage.
Push shot. Yep, Fishman gets off the Maledict, but will die shortly after. Looks like last hero is going to be next, so good execution here from Secret, as they will, in all likelihood, just group up with this Zoo to kill this tier 1.
This is when their lineup really starts being terrifying to play against. Visage has the Dom, probably looking for a Wolf at some point, going Ags for an extra familiar. They have the levels that they need on both Pango and Abaddon. So Abaddon is an insanely impactful hero, even with limited farm, when he just has some key levels. It's like same timing of having high level of Photic Shield is just... It's the 6-second part of this spell that blocks damage and deals damage. What an insane skill. Imagine if another hero had this spell.
Oh, I could have these discussions forever. Last hero, he's going to scout out the Roshan. It's very low at this point. Hookshot comes in from Yapsor into the Swallow. And yeah, he will literally just die there. Kaz comes in. Oh, Dendi as well. He steals the Aegis. Beautifully done into an Echo Slam with the multiple heroes. Well, no follow-up after the fact, though, as Witch Doctor will die as well. A triple kill for Nisha. So, Bait does take the Aegis, but at what cost, as some great people would say, Cinder. That is an ultra kill for Nisha.
That was
Good
such...
Lord.
That was such a sexy steal. I feel like they actually could have got away with that with 0 deaths, or maybe 1. But they got...
In hindsight, yes.
They got excited and went in with Shaker. He gets a good Echo off, but Storm used all his mana to steal the Aegis, so he couldn't combine with that Echo. And then Luna's just way too late to the party. Like, you don't run in and start eclipsing 1v4 like that. That's just, like, there's no potential there. He could have maybe traded 1 for 1, which is bad regardless. So, nice steal, but unfortunately for Bait, that they paid too much for that compared to what they could have. Oh, Nisha might die here.
Nisha into Flame Break, and not the greatest layering of stuns here, but it likely will not matter.
Lots of gold for Bat.
Yeah, that is a very, very good kill. Zai scouting things out, has his arcane boots right now, which I'm always disgusted to see on Pangolier. That's okay. I can forgive him. Actually, almost online for the actually. Ooh, he switches it up and just buys a 4-step. Interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
It's good against Clockwork, obviously, so that you can, if you get a hookshot, you have a way of getting into the fight. The problem with it is, when it comes to the surprise factor and taking fights, it's very few spots on the map that you can force staff into a good echo, right? Like, the enemy team will have half a second or a second to react, spread out, or get you targeted with something that can stop you when you go in, like pressing cogs, or getting a familiar drop ready, or whatever it is. So... I've seen this on Shaker. I've seen it work sometimes against Clock, but most of the time it actually feels underwhelming. Like, you end up, yeah, you survive the clock, but then you can't get that big echo that you really need.
Yeah. Oh, last hero's dead bottom. Yeah, Bad Rider's done so. I mean, the reason I was more surprised is because he had the blink queued up, and typically if you go for a 4-step before blink, it's because you can't really afford to blink in one go. Like, they're basically the same cost, but the 4-step comes in different components, so if you're dying a lot, you can just buy them as you go. But he had enough to buy it. So very surprising, but we'll see how that works out for him. But like you said, Clockwork Cogs, I feel like that needs to change, by the way, for if Clockwork ever becomes a god tier hero again. Easiest counter in the world. Another courier for Puppey? No. 5 up, on the cliff, and dead. By the way, is it 5 up or
on the
sup?
cliff. It's 5 up.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It could be the leet speak sup.
It's 5 up.
Nobody knows yet.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Matsu almost has his Radiance. What have we got coming for Bait? So Luna is now finishing a 16-minute Dom. It's not looking good for Crystallis, and while Dendi had a great start in the mid lane, his farm has definitely slowed down compared to the others.
Again.
Failed the Cog knockback, actually. Uncharacteristic mistake from Yapsor, could even cost him his life here.
We'll see, Eclipse now onto Puppey, but they're the familiars to tank up a lot of it. Looks like the Clockwork will die first. The rolling in from Zai, looks like he's going to find a Witch Doctor. Might actually puts Earthshaker on the other side of the cliff as well, but does find his way to the grave either way. Buyback onto the Witch Doctor now as the chase continues for Bait. Seeing the familiar slow things down as Dendi still has the Aegis, but really no mana right now.
He can't use it. Zai was basically 0.1 second from surviving that. The last... Or never mind. He wasn't. He was dead. My bad. He
goes through the rolling thunder.
Yeah. I was like, wow, he just barely got touched by Maledict coming out of the ball. I was like, no, it works anyway, so whatever.
But that was
in another time, that would have been really close, but now it's not anymore.
I agree.
Still great.
Because Maledict needed another buff, right?
Yeah.
Very good spell. And then they has the... What? It's the one Maledict tick at 20 and Maledict AoE at 15. That is so sexy. As a Witch Doctor extraordinaire, syndereN.
Yes.
Not really.
No.
Alright, 5 up with his 4-staff. Good to go, syndereN.
Is under attack.
Anything on Bait's side that they're really waiting for before they perhaps... I mean, they have the Aegis, so feels like they want to use this, right? I don't think
Yeah.
it's much of a hindrance right now from Secret side. It's not like they're
They just-
waiting for it.
They just don't have lasso and they don't have Eclipse. They used it in the bottom fight, so they don't feel confident that they can win a team fight, and I don't think they can either. So what are they waiting for? They're kind of waiting for Luna to keep catching up. It's just way too far behind. Like the lane stage went poorly, but they didn't recover well after.
There's the Force Staff, but Yapsor plays around it. Echo Slam to follow, though. Looks like the Clockwork will go down first. Matu, nice Death Ward cancel there as the borrow time goes off. Little Bushman and the ES for Yapsor's clock.
Yeah. Gets the Radiance onto Shaker. Anisha feels super confident here going in. Oh, last year you don't want to be there. Gets caught in the birds.
Batrider just keeps getting caught off guard over and over. It feels like he would have been better off with a Force Staff, to be perfectly honest. A lot of these scenarios, but
yeah,
I mean,
probably.
Pretty much every bat has been going boosted travel first. It's just such early pressure from Secret. But then again, based on the lineup, we were kind of expecting this, right?
But now he's going Crimson Guard because he feels like his team needs the tank ability against the Visage Familiars. I'm still with you though. I think Force Staff would. In many ways, the type of fights that Bait should be looking to play don't really get solved by getting Crimson. I think having mobility and trying to split things up a little bit and play on your mobility with Shaker, Bat, and Storm is a better chance of winning than just picking up, let's just fight into them with Crimson Guard. I don't think you win that fight anyway. Like, that's not how you pick apart the Secret lineup, because they're strong together. So ideally you would split them up a little bit. Oh, good hook shot.
Swashbuckle into hook shot. Yapsor looks like he's going to find a kill. More than likely, no. Witch Doctor's living for now. They're going to turn this around potentially. Storm Spirit actually gets bounced up onto the cliff. They're going to get the lasso, but there's a borrow time manually activated to dispel. Yeah, that was very weird. Storm Spirit trying to clear the wave.
Pointless.
Maybe he forgot that he could activate it?
I mean, even if he couldn't, I still don't think Matsu dies there regardless. Like, that was a 0% chance.
He saw somebody near him. He's like, I don't have any repositioning items, no mobility items, so I have to use this center. First person I see. Shit, it's an Abaddon. It's okay, I'm using it anyway.
I mean, that's clearly the problem. He was probably a bit, like, frustrated, because if he gets anybody else nearby, he knows that doesn't work either. And there you go, that's just the matchup, right? You have no mobility item, so you have to... It's very telegraphed when you go to lasso and bat with this item, though. Like, you just fly in, you find the target. Matsu has, like, a second or two to adjust his position and just be either the guy caught or close to the guy who gets caught. And then suddenly Bat's play doesn't really exist.
And this is where the flexibility of Secret's lineup is just unbelievable. Like, if you... I don't want to backseat here, Sinner, because I'm only a divine/ancient player. But if Bait... well, we're going to see a hook shot in here into the cogs as well. Force Staff still available for 5 up. Looks like he'll be okay. We're going to turn the cask around now. So here comes the roll from Zai onto 2 heroes with that fissure, using it to his advantage. And they're going to take out the Witch Doctor with ease and likely the Luna as well. Now the jump in from Dendi back into his base. The jump in from Dendi back into his base. He goes. What I was going to say is, if the Batrider ended up being a support, then it wouldn't feel as bad playing as this Abaddon, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're countered by a position 1 Abaddon as a position 4 or 5 bat, then whatever at that point. We've seen that before. Jump in from Dendi, this time outside of his base. But there's not a whole lot of damage done right now. That soul assumption took him to half HP. He's going to pop his Essence Ring.
They have so much magic resistance Secret. They have Pipe on Visage, they have Hood on Clockwork, they have Glimmer on Enchantress. They just look at this Bait lineup and they see, okay, you guys are like 80% magic damage, and here's the 20-minute push, right? Like, can you kill us? It doesn't look like they can very easily, at least. They're going to heal up with Visage.
A lot of damage mitigation as well.
Alright, here's a smoke. They're going to try something.
Oh, they get broken right away. There's a hook shot from Yapsor, but it's on to Dendi. Can they keep him in place with the soul assumption? Absolutely. Death Ward to follow, but it's very brief. Dendi does have buyback. Will probably expend it here. Nice fissure. Actually blocks them inside the base, but Matu is just so giant right now. Very difficult to deal with. This Radiance and Hyperstone working towards his AC right now. Zai with the flats. There's the Echo Slam after the 4-stack. We'll see if it'd be enough with the buyback from Dendi, but the Luna evaporates before he even buys back, and Dendi diebacks immediately, and that should do it for game 1.
He jumped in and got hit by a Pango roll as he connected. Zai was basically on top of him. Another hook shot. Yeah, I mean, this is just, it's an outclass, right?
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
I like the strategy of Secret. I like the way that they picked it in the order that they did, and then they're just executing, right? It's no big surprise that this game ends here. Tough game for Bait. They are underdogs, you know it going in, and now unfortunately they needed to win the Series 2-0. So we'll see what they do in the next game.
So, I guess I don't have to ask you who you think's going to win this game.
No.
Either way, I mean, this is more of a...
better than that.
What's the best way to put this? It's a glorified scrimmage for Bait, because they want to practice with this relatively new lineup of theirs. But it feels like they've been outdrafted heavily by dominant Secret. Actually won the last game in 23 minutes, I believe. So what's the timetable looking like for... How about this? Let's go with this a different... They're all tipping Matu right now. They are disgusted with this pick. From Bait's perspective, what is their avenue to win this game? You need to shut down the Brood early.
You have to crush your lanes. Like, I actually don't see any other strategy here that's gonna work. Then you need to run over your lanes so you're ahead, and then look to pressure the Brood whenever possible. And I think the only way that you kill this Brood in the jungle is with Venge plus Quap, and at least one more hero, or the Brood just doesn't die. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean, maybe Venge Quap can do it for a very little amount of time, like when they're both just hitting level 6 or something. But as soon as Brood gets, I don't know, the first item and a couple of, like, let's say level 10 or something, I don't think they kill it with 2 heroes anymore. It's a really difficult strategic game for Bait to play, and yeah, Secret just identified that this is a Brood game. It's pretty rarely a Brood game nowadays, to be honest. You don't see this hero picked very much, but it's still insane in the right circumstances, and this is one of those games for me.
And in the right hands, which, I mean, we've definitely seen Matu Brood before. It's one of his filthier heroes for sure, as it looks like the bounty runes will split. And let's see what the lanes end up shaping out to be. So it's going to be Zai's Batrider, Puppey's Ogre in the bot lane versus 5-Up, otherwise known as Sup to some people, syndereN, the Treant Protector, and Crystallis on the Drow. So let's look at this lane first, and I ask you, how does this shape up as a 2v2?
This is a bad lane against Batrider. Drow Treant. Both heroes hate this matchup. Very prone to getting dove, don't have mobility. Look at both heroes already being very slowed down, having very limited options. And then you have a frontlining Ogre to even cover for the bat, so they can't really play it aggressively very well. Yeah, this is tough.
Yeah,
on top of that, this is just
that Ogre, all that armor to tank up the front line, like you said.
It's like, on top of this, I don't think Drow is very good in Dota right now. I think it's one of the weakest carries for me personally. Alright, they caught Zai. They got a nice angle.
Zai pops the fairy fire. He's panicking. First blood to 5-Up.
Yeah, Puppey was just not near him at all. The Puppey was out on a mission trying to kill a courier, maybe. That's what he likes to do in this patch.
Alright, you said Drow sucks in this patch. You talked a lot of shit about Tree as a hero right now. Is this the handicap? Is this enough of a handicap?
I think they're still gonna lose this lane. But it helps, for sure. Like, I think this was a blunder from Secret. Like, Zai was kind of playing like Puppey was there and he wasn't, and they took advantage of that and went in. But the matchup is still just inherently so bad that you can see they're even TPing Enchantress down here now to help. I think they know that in real trouble. And this means they leave Venge 1v2 top against Ember Mirana. That is dangerous. You can get Slight chained into Arrow. If they kill Zai again here with this surprise rotation, this could be really good.
Taking a ton of damage. Orbit Venom, of course, on the tree. But
that time,
Zai will get away.
There.
Burn down the The creeps, I believe, yeah, last hero at the top lane was arrowed, but Nisha was not really close enough to team up with his comrade there to get the kill. But yeah, this is going to be a tough lane, 1v2. I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do. I mean, he's still obviously out-leveling Yapso right now, but still very early in the game. Zai in the bot lane chasing Fishman. Will enchant him. They do have a lot of slows in this lane. That is something I will say. The Orb of Venom slow, the Enchant slow, Chrysalis, of course, with the Frost arrows. Not to mention Nature, yeah, Nature's Grasp. I forgot the name of that. So that is 4 slows, syndereN. And they stack. It's incredible. All right, what about this mid lane? So you discussed how they have basically no answer for Brood in lane right now. What can Dendi do as he'll blink away to safety for now.
Did that answer your question?
I'm trying to look
He's
at the
forced back to base level 4. It's not a good look right now in the mid lane.
Well, if you're bait right now, do you bring somebody over to try to dual lane? Does that make any difference at this stage?
No.
Matu's already doing the jungle surprise here.
You have to accept that this lane is lost, and you have to get as much out of it as you can. So give Quap the levels. When she's level 6, maybe you try to rotate and kill that lane, or she rotates and kills something else. But the more heroes you bring to this mid lane, the harder you're gonna lose the map. Like, Brood doesn't even care. He's just gonna jungle. So you can't expend resources like this. It's not gonna be worth it. Matu's still just bullying them. Dendi didn't even get the rune.
Right now. Each creep missed pretty much the whole wave though, as Matu just zoned him out completely. Level 4.5 on Dendi versus almost level 6 on Matu. So a very stompy mid lane. 32 and 3 for the CS versus 13 and 4. So, of course, some of that is jungle creeps, but still. Top lane, we're gonna see a fire blast onto Fishman into an arrow, and Puppey will smack him down. Now a 2-to-1 advantage in terms of just the kills for bait. But how's this bottom lane going now? With Ogre gone, I believe he is TPing back though. Yes, he has returned. Back to a 2v2. Zai is almost level 4 right now, continuing to get slowed as Puppey's gonna fire blast the Drow Ranger. Not able to really get a good clip there. Multi-shot.
And just there again. Just notice how many problems bait have to fix, right? Playing Dota like this. Oh no, he got arrowed. He might die here.
He did. He probably wanted that bounty run. Fire blast to follow. Doesn't have the heals.
It's
down he goes.
It's really difficult to play Dota when you have to put out fires everywhere. And basically the mid lane is burning. The bottom lane didn't burn as much as it could, but think about how many people they had to send there. Enchantress started tri-laning there. Even after they got first blood, they felt the pressure needed to help it. And that also means their top lane is on fire, where last hero is now level 4 against level 6 Ember. So effectively, even though the Batriders game is bad, I would say Secret have won 3 lanes.
Right. I love the analogy, by the way. I believe the mid lane, I would consider this just the Ash. It's just in ruins right now. It's already over. Not even remotely close. Man, he scream at pains and just blinks away immediately. Like, he literally cannot play Dota right now. Really unfortunate. The hero just does not fare well. I mean, he does have some support in 5-up who's just going to get potentially taken down by Batumba right now.
At least the new living armor is a lot better against Brood than the old one.
Dendi. Oof. A lot of damage being done.
4 on Quap.
Yes. Almost hitting level 5 here. It's Chrysalis in the top lane. Gonna team up with the Venge. Nisha did have a Remnant, but didn't go very far with it. Has a couple more, though. We'll get out. Spends a lot, though, to be able to live
he can't drop a Remnant in TP base, because he doesn't have the cooldown. So he needs to wait 20 seconds before he can do that. So that's a bit of a slight win for bait. They are, of course, 4,000 gold behind minute 640. That's a slight loss.
Slightly. I mean, 1,000 of that by itself.
Right. I have a
actually,
question. Oh, yeah, it's fine.
That was actually a very fortunate rune, by the way. Oh my god.
I have a little bit of a quiz for you here.
Oh,
Giving me quizzes, right?
I do.
Okay, without looking, what do you think the win expectancy of this game is right now?
Well, I don't even have the key to be able to look. The win expectancy right now?
Yeah.
85%.
50-50.
What? As the arrow connects top lane onto Fishman. How's that possible?
Radiant's bottom
I don't know,
Hey, it's
people in
in early
bugs are
days.
terrible when they have brood. I don't know. In a competitive
that's
setting,
definitely true.
the win expectancy, I mean, that really goes to show how you should probably take the win expectancy with a little bit of a grain of salt. Like, this dire advantage is massive right now. I don't know what, if I were to have a bet with you right now, like what odds I would give you for Radiant winning this game.
1,000 to 1, and put $1 down.
Maybe not that extreme, but
Dendi
every
is
dollar
level 6
counts.
now.
Maybe I should just take that bet and make another dollar.
Takes out last hero and just extends this lead even further to the 5k discrepancy right now. Tier 1 tower bottom looks like it will fall. Not exactly the greatest pushing tandem here, Puppey and Zai, but they'll get the job done. Matu has the tower at half HP mid, but it's really less about the tower pushing right now. It's more about just his farm discrepancy. Sonic Wave used just to clear up the spider lane.
You see, this is smart, because now it looks like Dendi has done really well because of his CS. He killed like 30 spiders or something. He has
Yeah,
90 CS. It's like, guys, I won mid.
Well, he's going to continue to get chased here, holding on to that blink.
Honestly, it's not a bad Sonic Wave. He defended his mid tower. Somebody needed to clean out that spider army,
no
and
doubt.
it sucks to use Sonic, but you gotta do it. Right? It feels so bad, but it's probably the best play.
We talked about their AoE. It's like virtually
Yeah.
nothing without him. Matu getting very aggressive. There are 3 heroes here for bait, so if they get vision.
He's zoning 4 heroes, or is it only 3? Yeah, it's 3. He's zoning 3 heroes behind the mid with tier 1 tower minute 9. Top lane Nisha.
Lane Nisha. I believe he dodged the Centaur stop. Really well done. He's going to turn around onto the Enchantress. Chrysalis looks like he'll get out. The sliver of HP. So if you're fighting against, like in a game where you don't have heroes that are good against the Brood, is there an item that you try to rush? Like old school Drow might go for, I don't know, like an Aghanim Scepter or something like that, but ugh.
I think
Maelstrom.
should probably finish his treads first and then see how it's going.
Man, you are savage today, syndereN. Good.
Are we watching the same game? How is he getting an X this game?
Hey, if you're slacks, you go brown boost Ags every time.
Sometimes you
Dendi
just
mid
have
lane
to call a
is
spade a
dead.
spade. They're getting destroyed, man. Like, this is... It's a beatdown. It's an absolute beatdown. And it is what it is, you know? Like, sometimes in Dota, you get brooded like this. And...
It's true.
I mean, ideally what Drow wants to go is probably something like maybe Ags, just they have something against the Brood, but you have to, like, how do you get there? I think rather than focus on Drow's items, it's like, how do you get any foothold on the map whatsoever? And then you can start talking about items. Like, if they wait for items, the game is over. Like, they have to basically go on some full-on YOLO moves right now. They're 1,000 GPM behind in the game, minute 10. So... if you don't, say, go for some smokes with your Venge Drow or Squawk or whatever and really try to get something done.
Whoa, the arrow completely misses Yapzor with a very uncharacteristic mistake there. Mid lane, though, Preamp Protector does fall. Last hero looks to be getting a
They're going for it,
Matu.
mid.
This will be a huge kill. They'll get him.
There it is.
Very, very big kill. Will
There
be
it
the
is.
trade. Puppey, still Moonlight Shadow.
So, there was finally a 3-man gank with the Venge. They got the swap off, they got the minus armor out, and Ench and Venge could do enough damage to get the Brood kill. So, it's something.
If only syndereN, if only this was the patch that's coming out in 2 weeks, where they will inevitably change the rubber band. The net worth has not changed. Despite that kill, there was literally no change.
That's actually a really good point about Brood strategies, right? So Brood strategies, when it gets last pick, a lot of the times, or well, pretty much every time, it's because it's like an amazing game where you imagine Brood can just dominate. But in the past, Brood's downfall has been if you do very well but make a couple of mistakes when you're far ahead, your kills really punish you and your team because you're that far ahead. But when it's this patch and the kills are worth that little, that means if it is a good Brood game and you get ahead, you're in such a dominant spot in there's very, very little that the plays that Bait could have done half a year ago to get back into this game, they feel like they need to do them twice over, right?
Right. Yep.
And that's tough. By the way, just want to point out how disgusting Brood is with Bloodlust on.
Yes, he does hit quite fast.
No, not that, how it
gonna
looks. You'll see it later.
Alright, you know what? I'm not even going to call this fight because you just made me very interested. He doesn't have Bloodlust on him, Cinder.
No, he did earlier. You know what it does? It stretches all of his legs out entirely. I'm not even joking.
It stretches his legs?
So you see the legs are bent, right?
We have an overgrowth into a sonic wave! Holy jeez, they killed somebody. Looks like Treant Protector will cost him his life. Zion the Cliff will TP out to safety. Nisha will TP out as well as Matu comes in and slaps Fishman right on the back of the head. Still no Bloodlust onto Brood. I'm waiting. Aghanim Scepter is available to purchase now for Matu. Just needs to get that courier in position.
Okay. Now that things have settled down, look at Brood right now. You see how bent the legs are?
Yeah.
When he was bloodlusted earlier, they were entirely straight. Like they were just like spears coming out of the chest. It looked horrifying for a spider.
I'll be the judge of this.
Yeah, we'll see when we get there.
Made the legs more erect, I see.
Let's see bending. The bloodlust come out. Puppey, do it. Bloodlust him.
Oh my god. Look at that Brood. A very fast kill. Oh my god, look at the legs. You're right. What the what in the this is terrifying.
I wonder if Matu can even concentrate. Like I guess they're still bent a little. Like it actually looks like he's flailing non-stop.
Yeah, he is.
Wait,
flailing.
Is that the Brood flailing animation? Is it the animation Brood has when it's gripped? It kind of looks like he's moving and flailing at the same time.
It looks like a broken animation more than a stretching of textures or whatever.
Radiant's
Top lane looks to be the end of the tier 1 tower as we know it. The bait will be smoking here. They are 13k net worth behind. Puppey is probably not the target of choice. Not going to get back into the game with just that kill. We'll transition up to the top lane. Nisha does have a fire spirit up. They can catch him though.
Are they going to swap into Overgrowth?
Yeah, last hero. There's the swap, but the instant
slide.
remnant.
That was quick.
Quick boy.
Slight dodged the gust, and then he got off his remnant. Oh, Matu is still being absolutely disgusting. Oh, now he's fast too.
He's coming. He has the Againts
nightmares.
Yeah, good overgrowth. Web is actually taking a lot of damage. It'll be a big kill. They get him into the sonic wave as well. Will Secret want to continue? The trade was with the Vengeful Spirit. Nisha, not a whole lot of mana to speak of right now. Puppey continuing to get those multicasts off. Treant Protector pops the wand, but will likely go down to the right clicks. And indeed he does.
Oh, they got the Brood though.
They sure did. What was their net worth lead? Wasn't it 30? Didn't they just gain 2k?
I think they got
by
more.
losing?
I think they got more bounties, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, Secret got both bounties.
But despite losing Brood. Oh, we can see. Yeah, very even. Which again, I don't understand. It's a Brood for 2 supports. No way in the world that this should be even when you're 15k behind. Very strange. Either way, Zion looks to be pretty dead here. Completely surrounded.
Less with hammer,
but do a lot of damage, but Dendi should live. And Matumba continuing to consume the enemy jungle. So has the Treads Ags going for Yasha into what exactly? What do you buy on this hero these days? People get Bloodthorn, or is that an old school thing? I actually haven't. Since
it's pretty good on Brood.
I'm not sure.
It's solid. I think the Manta is the most important item first, just so you can get out of Overgrowth and Gust, and then it's way easier for him to play fights. Don't think BKB is really needed here necessarily. So Manta, Bloodthorn sounds pretty good to me. You can also get a damage item. Last hero is in trouble mid.
Where are you going?
Yep. No.
Hey Fishman.
Swap is a
My bro.
Hey, you know what? You died 7 times. Just take it for the team. Thank you. Well, let's look at the item progression for them. Enchantress is sitting on brown boots, so that, I mean, that was technically a good play. less value net worth.
Yeah. I mean, I would have done the same as the Venge there, but it's still funny. Dendi.
Fire Blast onto
they missed
Ping. The arrow is not in time. Mistiming them a bit here. Perhaps a little overconfident. Very happy with their Brood pick. We're gonna have a potential team.
Oh my God, Zai's doing so much work here.
Secret just continues the pressure. Crystal's already super low, forced to go back into his base. Overgrowth is available, might have to use it next to his tier 3, but instead they'll just die. 2 dead, buybacks on both Drow and the Treant Protector, as Secret will bide their time. Reset and probably just go back in. I don't see another. I mean, they are pretty close to a couple items, but they are so far ahead, and they have to know this. But I'm gonna play a little bit safe. Still have the Roshan potential. I mean, with all this map control, figured that would be relatively easy to do.
I'll take your 1,000 to 1.
Deso, we didn't shake on it. Deso almost done here on Nisha's Ember. And Blink almost done for Zai. So he's gonna have the initiation on top of basically the guaranteed Meteor Hammer lasso target. Another smoke here for Bait. They do run into Nisha, but kind of an issue. Like, even I'm trying to think of the best way for them to actually even initiate off of that. Like, if you swap, that's still time. You need like an Orchid or something.
I have to swap into Gust.
Yeah, pretty much. Well,
Oh
he's
my
dead.
goodness.
Yep. That's some damage. Matu actually popped his ult for that, surprisingly. Still have some outer towers to take, of course. Basically, mid and bottom remain.
Radiant's middle tower
Have they lost the tower?
attack.
They have not lost the tower yet. Has there been damage done to the tower, syndereN? I'm checking that out
Yes,
right
top
now.
has taken 487 damage, and mid has taken 49.
Enchantress is, well...
Oh, Dendi's in trouble. Top Zai.
Radiant's
Okay,
bottom
we can
tower
cast 2
is
different
under
team fights at the
attack.
same time. Zai is getting a kill there. Chrysalis, oh, looks to be the next death for Bait. The baby swap here for last hero kills Fishman again, and this time it will also cost him his own life, as this was a mega stomp. And we talked about how the games that we've cast in the past actually looked very similar to this, but this felt possibly more from just purely picks. Like the Brood, I mean, you said it pre-game, 0